The restaurant was called Mariner's Table, a polished waterfront place where linen napkins were folded like swans and the wine list was thicker than most novels. Outside, yachts bobbed gently in the marina. Inside, money spoke in low voices and expected to be obeyed. At table 12, Richard Halvorsen adjusted his cufflinks and frowned. He was rich in the way that assumed permanence, old investments, newer arrogance, and a belief that the world functioned best when it bent quickly. His tailored suit cost more than most people's monthly rent, and his voice carried the confidence of someone who had never been told no and meant it. "This steak is cold," he snapped. Across from him, his guests, two business associates, shifted uncomfortably. They'd already been waiting on him to finish complaining for several minutes. The waitress stood calmly at the edge of the table. "Yes, sir," she said evenly. "I'll have the kitchen replace it immediately." She reached for the plate. Halvorsen slapped his hand down, stopping her inches away. "No, you'll stand there while I finish speaking." A few nearby diners glanced over, then quickly looked away. Nobody wanted to be involved. The waitress didn't flinch. She was in her early 30s, average height, dark hair pulled into a tight bun. Her uniform fit neatly, sleeves rolled just enough to reveal forearms marked with faint, pale scars, old ones. Her name tag read Maya. "Sir," she said calmly, "I can fix the problem faster if I—" "You've already messed it up," Halvorsen cut in. "And now you're being disrespectful." Maya met his eyes, not challengingly, not submissively, just steady. "I'm following restaurant policy," she replied. Halvorsen laughed sharply. "Policy?" He leaned back in his chair. "Do you know who I am?" Maya nodded once. "A customer." That did it. Halvorsen stood, chair scraping loudly against the floor. Conversations around the room faltered. Silence spread like a spill. "I spend more in a night than you make in a year," he said loudly. "And you think you can talk back to me?" Maya didn't raise her voice. "Sir, please sit down." That word, "please," felt to Halvorsen like an insult. He pulled out his phone. "I want the police," he announced, tapping the screen. "I feel threatened. This woman is being aggressive." A murmur rippled through the restaurant. The manager hurried over, face tight with panic. "Mr. Halvorsen, perhaps we can." "Stay out of it," Halvorsen snapped. "I want her detained. Now." Maya exhaled slowly. "Sir," she said, "this is unnecessary." Halvorsen smiled thinly. "We'll see what the officers say." 15 minutes later, two police officers entered Mariner's Table. The clink of silverware had resumed, but tension lingered in the air like smoke. Halvorsen was already rehearsing his version of events. "There she is," he said loudly, pointing. "She threatened me," raised her voice, refused to comply. The officers turned to Maya. "Ma'am," one said, "we're going to need you to step aside." Maya nodded. "Of course." She placed her hands calmly behind her back before they even asked. That should have been the first sign. As one officer moved to cuff her, Halvorsen folded his arms, satisfied. "About time," he muttered. The cold metal touched Maya's wrist. She winced, not in fear, but recognition. "Officer," she said quietly, "may I speak?" The younger cop hesitated. Briefly. "My name is Maya Collins," she said. "Former Chief Petty Officer, United States Navy." Halvorsen scoffed. "Oh, please, you expect us to believe." "SEAL Team 5, she continued calmly. 8 years active duty, 2 tours overseas, medical discharge." The room went very quiet. The older officer paused, looking more closely at her posture, her bearing. The scars, the stillness. "Ma'am," he said carefully, "do you have identification?" "Yes," Maya replied. "In my wallet. Left back pocket." The officer retrieved it, flipping it open. Inside, a military ID, discharge papers folded with care, and a challenge coin worn smooth with handling. The officer swallowed. "Sir," he said to his partner quietly, "she's legit." Halvorsen's smile faltered. "That doesn't matter. She still threatened me." Maya finally turned her head slightly, looking at him. "I never raised my voice," she said. "I never touched you. I offered to replace your meal." The manager nodded quickly. "That's correct. We have cameras." The officer turned to Halvorsen. "Sir, filing a false police report is a serious offense." Halvorsen's face reddened. "This is ridiculous. I felt unsafe." "Because she didn't tolerate being bullied," someone from another table muttered. The officer ignored it. "Sir, we're going to need to speak with you now." "What?" Halvorsen barked. "This is outrageous." Maya felt the cuffs loosen and slide free. Her wrists were red, but she didn't rub them. She simply stood. The officers moved Halvorsen aside. His voice rose, sharp and panicked now. Do you know how much influence I have? Maya watched quietly. She'd faced worse than a rich man shouting. She'd faced gunfire in the dark, silence before explosions, orders that weighed heavier than fear. This didn't shake her. As the officers finished questioning Halvorsen, the manager approached Maya. I'm so sorry, he said. Are you all right? Yes, she replied, but I'm done for the night. Of course, he said quickly. Take paid leave, as long as you need. Halvorsen was being issued a citation now. His guests wouldn't meet his eyes. As the officers prepared to leave, the older one paused beside Maya. Thank you for your service, he said quietly. She nodded. You're welcome. Outside, the night air was cool and smelled of salt. Maya stepped onto the boardwalk, breathing deeply. The marina lights reflected off the water, broken and shifting, never staying still long enough to own. Behind her, the restaurant doors opened. Halvorsen stormed out, furious, phone already at his ear. This isn't over, he snapped as he passed her. Maya didn't look at him. She'd learned long ago not to waste energy on small, loud threats. She walked toward her truck instead, an old, reliable thing that had never cared who she was or what she'd done. As she unlocked it, her phone buzzed. A message from an old contact. Heard you're back stateside. Coffee sometime. She smiled faintly. The world didn't always recognize strength when it saw it. Sometimes it tried to handcuff it. But strength didn't disappear just because it wore an apron instead of a uniform. It waited, and it endured.